On December 24th, a friend of mine, Dave, you might know him as Dave's Trains and Automobiles, sent me a photo of a car. I was immediately intrigued, so we went back and forth messaging a little bit. He gave me a little information about the car. I asked him to weigh it for me. And I didn't realize it was a 3D printed car until he told me. Now, this car comes from a guy named Ron Gores. I think that's how you say his name. And he's kind of got a little bit of an upstart business going. Actually, honestly, I don't know how long he's been in business, but the name of his business is Asylum Hobbies. And I got the car finally on January 14th. My own fault. I just, the holidays are busy, but at any rate, Ron packed the car extremely well. It's a very well-made car. I'm thoroughly impressed with it. For my taste, it was a little light on weight, so I went ahead and added some steel to it, and it's still lighter than a USA Trains 60-foot boxcar. For those of you that don't know, this is a center beam car. I believe it scales out to a 73-foot car. It's one of the longest cars I have now. The only car that I have that's longer is Godzilla. But we had a little hiccup when it arrived. And that hiccup was the coupler height was too low. I was a bit baffled as to why 906 couplers were not at KD standard height. So KD sells a gauge, and after talking with Ron, texting with him back and forth, Ron agreed that an adjustment needed to be made. And I think that's the reason why I'm doing this video. For a business owner to, how can I say, listen to constructive criticism and feedback and adjust his product is phenomenal. I can't say enough about the guy. So today in the Fort, I'm going to show you what I had to do in order to get these couplers at the proper height. All right, well, first things first, what I want to show you is a very simple modification that I make to a 906, excuse me, a 906 that I have to put on a long car. The curves on my layout, the smallest are 10 foot, and have discovered that on a 10-foot curve, you need a little bit more swing on the coupler than normal. So if you notice, this is the swing on a standard 906 unmodified. Okay, so the one on the right here, you can see that I cut the corners off, so I get a little bit further swing. I'm past that corner. Now, if we hold them like so, you can see I get a little more swing cutting the edges off. Now, you can get a lot more swing if you cut down and get rid of this here. It'll swing even more, but I don't find it necessary on 60-foot or greater cars, especially for 10 foot. So that's an easy cut. I got a Dremel with a really nice cutting wheel. This is the same tool we're going to use to hog out the material on the bottom side of this new car. Now, I've only done one side because I wanted to show you the difference between what his 3D printed mount is at currently and then what I did on the other side. Okay, here's what I did on the other side. I took out, let's get focused in here. about a 1/4 inch of material in order to get that coupler to standard KD height as compared to the stock side. You can see the scratch, and that scratch was made with the end of the gauge. Now how that works is, with the gauge in place, you butt the car up to this end, and that is the height for the top of the box. That's how this gauge works. And then obviously, why are we out of focus? Then obviously, once that's established, you use the gauge where the coupler is to make sure the couplers are at the right height. Now, all of my stuff is KD standard height. Lines up perfectly, or pretty darn near close. Words are hard, jeez. So, every coupler I have is at this height on all my rolling stock and all my engines. So, back to the project at hand, I'm going to show you exactly what it took to do this. All right, that process took a total of about 8 minutes. Not terrible, really. What's nice is the holes are still there for mounting the coupler. The only thing I'm going to do differently is use shorter screws, obviously, because there's less meat to screw into. I'm going to get this cleaned up, that screwed in, and let's see how it looks. One more important thing of note, another really impressive thing, is he 3D printed his trucks, okay? And when he put them together, he greased this. So I'm going to re-grease it because, well, reasons. All my sawdust, which technically, yeah, I was using a saw and it's dust from the saw. All my sawdust stuck to the grease. So I'm going to replace this grease with white lithium grease. Now, you got to use it from a tube. You can't use the spray because sometimes the accelerant in the bottle will eat certain plastics. So we're just going to put a little dab on here for, I guess, why not? But I think that's really cool that he did that. He went that far to make it an exceptional product. So you guys know how I am on this channel. I find something I like and I want to share what I've discovered. And I really think that I really like the car, obviously, but I really think the biggest thing I like about this whole product is the creator who took the time to listen to me, right? So let's put it on the track. All right, I'm gonna put something a little bit lighter in the background. Hopefully that makes it show up better. So there's the coupler. It looks like I've got a little bit of a lean down, which is an easy fix. All you do is put washers under the back screw. Let's see how it looks. It looks like that's what I'm going to have to do, is put some washers under the back screw to raise the front end of the knuckle up. Easy fix. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. We on there? Are we in focus? Where are we at? I'll try to get this here. No, get on the track, dummy. I'd say that's pretty damn near perfect. It's a little low, but I've nothing to get excited about. I mean, you're going to have variances, so I'm not overly concerned. I like it. Let's see how it compares to other things. That's the gauge. Here's a -9. That looks pretty damn good if you ask me. Now let's get him out of the way. We wheel in a 60-foot boxcar. Now, I'll tell you why I'm using a 60-foot boxcar from USA. Let's move this more center. The pads on the bottom of these cars are set to perfect KD height. If a manufacturer like USA Trains and AML for that matter are smart enough to know that people are going to put KDs on, a lot of people do, so they made their coupler pads at the exact right height. Yeah, a little low. Nothing to get excited about. It's not a 1/4 inch low. So I think this will be fine on the track. If I get concerned, I'll add another shim to the back side of the KD. But anyway, that's the process. So I'll also put a link to his website in the description so you guys can check out some of his really cool products. At any rate, thanks for watching.